A change of gear from babies to aging with elegance. Our next guest may have just found that elusive fountain of youth, and it's not a potion or elixir. It's very much just an attitude. Take, for example, 95-year-old Ilona Royce Smithkin, a talented artist, teacher, and performer. Her passion for fashion and unique insights on life have been featured in media outlets like the New York Times and the Huffington Post. She's an inspiration for women of all ages, and she's also Ari Cohen's muse. Through his groundbreaking photography, Ari is challenging conventional fashion stereotypes and capturing images of women like Ilona in his best-selling book, Advanced Style. Born from a popular blog, the book and new documentary tell the fascinating stories of women aged 62 to 95 whose exquisite style and extraordinary attitudes prove that beauty and spirit are ageless. Take a look.
I am dressed up for the theater of my life every day. I get such a kick out of it.
I take it to the nth degree. Most people don't.
At one time, I had no self-confidence and I didn't think I could do anything. I came into my own about 10 years ago.
I feel the same as I did when I was 18, but I have fewer cares.
I never wanted to look young. I wanted to look great.
When I was 18, I wanted to go to Paris, so you could turn it around and put the 8 in front and the 1 in behind.
There is no time limit to anything. When you look good, you look good.
Ilona, Ari, welcome to Full Frame. So you got to tell me how this all started. How did this come to you?
Well, I was best friends with my grandmothers growing up, and they were really the ones who gave me my perspective on aging. I never thought that aging was a negative thing because I had these incredible role models. They were fashionable, creative, intelligent, and so much fun. So I've always spent time with older people. And when I moved to New York in 2008, women like Ilona and all these different people came alive to me on the street. And I started taking their photographs and interviewing them because I thought that older people are so absent from media. We totally ignore older people in the U.S., and women like Ilona should be our role models.
Absolutely. Well, Ilona, when he first came up to you and said, "I want to take your picture," what'd you think?
It wasn't what I think, it's what I said. I said, sure, but what do you need it for? And he said, I take women who are over 70 and who still have a spirit and dress colorfully. I said, here I am.
But you're an artist by design. In fact, you brought in this book. Tell us a little bit about this painting here.
This was a time about 1967 when Ayn Rand was there, and she commissioned me to do her portrait. And I was terribly scared because I was young and very inexperienced. And she said, don't worry, if it doesn't come out right, many famous people have tried and failed. This is what she said before I did the portrait. So of course my heart sank even lower. However, when I did it, she looked at it, she said, that's just how I felt about me.
Wow. Well, the reason I bring that up is she's a work of art. And these women, when you look at them, especially in your book, extraordinary, aren't they? I mean, they really are living works of art.
Yeah, I mean, they really dress for themselves, and I think that's what they've been doing their whole lives. And now at 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100, they don't feel like they should stop. They actually get more defined with their personal style. They're doing exactly what they want at this age, and I think that's a lesson that we could all take away, that this doesn't have to stop. Our creativity, our style, our will to make new things, our passion for life doesn't end. It even gets stronger with age. Everywhere we go with Ilona, people stop her and want to know, what's the secret to your vitality? You inspired me through, Ilona picked up cabaret when you were 80 years old, right? You started doing your cabaret.
Yes, somebody said, would you mind singing? I have a nightclub act. I said, sure, but I've never done it before. They said, just do the best you can.
I think it's the openness of the women that I meet. She's so open to new opportunities, and she's not sitting in a rocking chair waiting, for the end. She's doing so much every day.
Well, Ilona, anyone who looks at you, it's almost as though two gorgeous butterflies landed on your eyelids. I mean, there's no way that you can walk down the street and people not notice you. But you, I know there was an interview in here where you talked about that, where some people were like, I think it was, you put on too much sausage or whatever it was, the saying was, that some people felt like you're overdoing it, but you're showing yourself.
Well, everybody has a right to their opinion. However, I used to have them done by a fellow who was in France, and when he died, I thought, what am I going to do? I can't find another pair my color. So I thought, I looked in the mirror, I took a scissor, I cut it off, and ever since, I've done my own eyelashes, because then they have the color. And you know, when the hairdresser sometimes makes a different color, then I have to cut some more from that color and paste it on top.
How do you find these women, and then once you find them, how do you convince them to pose for the photographs, and then do they automatically become your best friends? Because obviously she's a good pal now.
Definitely Ilona. I walk around the city. I walk around any city that I happen to be in. I always have my camera, and whoever inspires me in the moment, I go up to them, tell them that, you know, a little bit about my project, give them a compliment, tell them what I appreciate about them. And surprisingly, especially in New York, the women are so open, and I think because they want to share their stories, they want to make a difference, they want to change people's perception on aging. And so it's fairly easy. I've only been yelled at one time. Definitely wasn't Ilona. And I've become friends with hundreds of these women. I mean, this is my social group, is hanging out with Ilona, going to parties, going to galleries. I also have friends my own age, but they're more interesting than anyone I know. So.
Well, we know the impact this is having on you. We're going to play a clip here where it's an illustration of what kind of impact this is having on the women that you photograph. Let's listen to this, then I want to get both of you to talk about it afterwards.
Tell me the whole story.
I came across the blog in January.
Right.
And was so impressed because you ladies were advanced age, advanced style, and it completely turned my idea of aging around.
Isn't that wonderful? God, that's really what we want to do. That's what it's all about, and that's what Ari wants to do.
And I seemed younger, more creative. For the first time, I felt that in my life, I felt I had some creativity. I look in my closet, and it comes out with all different things.
That's it, that you never thought you'd wear a turquoise with a turquoise. Yeah, it's amazing.
Never had thought about.
That's so wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Been doing the same thing I've been doing since I'm 5 years old, and to be acknowledged for it is really kind of fun at this point. And everyone else in the ad is like 25 or under. So I'm very flattered that they would choose me.
Awesome that they would do that.
You know, at 66, that they're letting me put on youthful clothes and letting me do whatever I want to do style-wise.
What was the whole idea with the campaign? Kind of do whatever you want, style your
Well, the title of the campaign is Money Can't Buy Style. So there we are, in living color. You know, I'm really very young. I feel same as I did when I was 18, but I have fewer cares now, and I'm willing to do anything at this point.
Ari, talk to me about that clip, because I think it encapsulates a lot of, I don't know if that was your goal initially or not, but it really has kind of empowered these women, hasn't it?
Well, I did want to show a different idea of aging. I wanted to show something positive and inspiring. But all of a sudden, right when I started the blog, I started hearing from young women saying, I'm no longer afraid of aging after seeing these women. I want to be like these women. Then older women started to come up to me and say that they felt the permission to dress up. They felt visible again. So these were things that I started hearing from, you know, people emailing me, and then walking around with Ilona, people coming up to her on the street and saying, you've changed my life. So it's a really incredible part of this whole project is the feedback that we've gotten from people who see these women who are so active and engaged with life that they change their own attitudes towards aging in life.
That's got to make you feel great.
It does. It makes you feel good if you can give somebody hope, or somebody who's very worried, take away the worry. And that is what is happening in many cases, not every time, but a lot of the young people who come over to me say, thank you so much. You made it very different aging. I was very worried about it.
You know, my great uncle lived to be 97, and he would come to these family affairs, you know, holidays, and one of my relatives was telling a long-winded story, and everybody else, I think, was thinking the same thing Jim was thinking, but he said, at one point, he said, "Oh, dear God, finish this story or I'm going to die." And everybody laughed, but there's this freedom that comes with aging too, doesn't it? I mean, you don't necessarily worry about what other people think. You're out there, you're making a statement.
I'm very concerned not to step on anybody's toes, because I know how it hurts when somebody insults you or if somebody hurts you. But as far as it goes, what I say what I think, because it's the truth. It's something which is natural, doing what comes naturally. You know.
And one of the really interesting things about Ilona is she really came into her own at 85, 80 years old. You always talk about when you came into your own, Ilona.
That's true. Till 84, did my split each time when I danced or so on, because I loved to do it. Then I had a hip replacement, and of course I still do it in the water, but I don't do it outside anymore. However, when you gain some self-confidence, which is really your self-confidence, believe in yourself, then you have a completely different outlook of the world, of every one of your friends, of anybody you know or get to know. I never gave myself credit when I was younger, all the famous people I painted portraits of. And now I say, gee, look what you did in your life. Be happy about it, be proud of it. And many, many young people will do the same thing. They don't dare to give themselves credit. And nowadays, in our time, which has changed a great deal from the time when I was young, I always tell young people, give yourself credit for little things. It doesn't have to be such a high thing. You made a good cup of coffee. It's great. You have baked something which tastes particularly good. Give yourself credit. Tap yourself. You're great.
And that's what I've learned from Ilona, is to look at those small things and appreciate really tiny things in life, because all those things, you know, compile and really allow you to really enjoy every day if you think about each experience as something that's valuable. And that's something we do together. We went on an interview one time and with a big personality, and I said, Ilona, wasn't that great? And she said, to tell you the truth, I loved the elevator ride up to where we were going because I saw a new view of the city. I saw Union Square, and that's what she appreciated. And then it made me look at things a little bit differently. I mean, they all do.
How old do you feel like you are? Because we heard that woman in the clip say, I feel like I'm 18. Is age just a number?
No, I feel, I cannot tell you an age, but I feel not old. I don't feel like a baby. I just am. I am the person who has come out of all the many experiences. But my mind has become clearer because I don't have the burden anymore. Will somebody like me, or do I do the right thing? So that's like a whole baggage which you left away. And all you can think of is a moment when I listen to you or to anybody with whom I talk. They have all of me, not just a little bit, and I don't figure what can I get out of it, or all the things which we think of when we're younger. It's just the pure giving and the pure joy of giving.
People think of aging as, oh, you end up in the senior citizen center and you're playing bingo.
And some do.
And some do. You're absolutely right. But then there are some like you. I mean, you can still squeeze every little morsel out of life, and that's what you're all about.
I think that older people are so ignored in media and culture. These women obviously are fighting that with everything that they do, everything that they put on, everything that they say, everything that they express.
Not anymore since you came out with the film.
That's not their goal, but it's just how they live their lives. But I grew up in San Diego, and the community that my family lives in, you know, it's very ageist. I think in New York, people are free to express themselves, and you have to stay active and vital in order to survive here. So it's a wonderful city for older people, because Ilona gets up every day, walks up 3 flights of steps, gets her groceries, comes back. I mean, other 94-year-olds in other cities might not be doing as much. I mean, this exists in every city. Advanced style, the idea that you can be vital at an older age exists. But I think especially in New York, where you have to walk everywhere and there's so much on the street for you, I think that really you know, increases the energy of the women that I meet.
Well, she has plenty of energy. In fact, you're going to entertain us with a tune, correct? You'll sing a song for us?
You really want to?
I want you to take us to the break that way, if you will.
All right. I think everybody knows Marlene Dietrich, and she was quite a performer. And of course, in order to make it right, I have to dress up the part. Of
course.
And there was something which she did in Destry Rides Again. And there was a song, of course, which everybody knew. Let's see what the boys in the back room will have and tell them I'm having the same. But that's not the song I want to sing to you. I want to sing the song which is so clever. I thought it had such great words, and here it is. You've got that look that leaves me weak. You with your eyes across a table technique. You got that look between the lines. You with your let's have more than friendly designs. Is that lovely?
Fantastic. Thank you. You took my breath away. How's that?
I hope you get it back.
Thank you so much.
And
what a delight.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for what you're doing. I just think it's fantastic.
It
and
is.
if you haven't picked up the book or the DVD, do both. How's that? I got a plug in for you. You didn't even have to do it.
Thank you.
Coming up next, this week's Full Frame Close-Up on a community of artists who are putting their talents to good use on behalf of the March of Dimes.